Anders hoor ik mezelf de hele tijd. Dat hoef ik liever niet. We zijn er weer. We gaan vandaag weer verder met de Archon Quest. Voordat we dat gaan doen, wil ik eerst even een paar dingen doen voor de... Oh my god. Oké. We gaan eerst even een beetje events doen. Ik ga even een vriend bedanken. Dat is echt heel lief namelijk. Even een vriend bedanken. Nou ja. Dat is heel lief. Dat scheelt mij een hele hoop. Dat betekent dat ik in ieder geval nog 4 van die dingen kan. Oh, dat is precies wat ik nodig had. Oh my god, Justin, je bent mijn redder. Ik zweer. Nou ja, dat scheelt. Dat zijn in ieder geval weer meer primo's. Dan kunnen we in ieder geval weer verder stemmen op Farina. Of stemmen. Muisje op Farina. Neem het allemaal. Dankjewel. Och, man. Hop, commissions ook gedaan. Hatsa. Dat scheelt weer. Ik wil 1 keer die stomme animo ding doen. Dan kunnen we eindelijk Jean upgraden naar level 80. Want dat is het nog steeds niet. Kinda sad though. Maar goed. Oh, ik ga de hele tijd in de weg naar huis. Dat ik de hele tijd deze soundtrack te luisteren van Summer. Of van Summer. Fontaine. Maar ben ik nou gek of is dit event niet al een keer eerder geweest? Kan ook aan mij liggen hoor, maar... Het zal wel. Ik heb primo's. Ik vind het helemaal goed. Wat prima gesproken. Oh my god, ik heb echt veel nu. Oké. We pray. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yay, first try. Oh my god. Oké. Oh, daar ben ik wel heel blij mee. Oh, zat ook nog maar 4 dagen. Oh my gosh. We hebben er gewoon. Ik had echt verwacht dat ik het zou verliezen met mijn 50-50. Nou ja, we kunnen nu net zo goed een beetje doorgaan voor de wapen. Oh ja. We kunnen een beetje sparen. Ik weet niet wie de volgende benders zijn. Dat kunnen we wel even snel kijken. Ja. Oh. Oh, maar die hoef ik al bijna niet. Oh. Ah, such a pretty lady though. Oh my gosh. We got her. Zo, we gaan meteen even upgraden. In ieder geval tot zover ik kan, want ik heb niet materials voor haar. Wabam.
feel.
Oh, I'm so happy. Een extra Archon erbij. Let's go. Wabba. Ja, zie, ik heb niet genoeg. Ik heb namelijk die base niet. Maar that's fine, that's fine. We hebben er. Daar ben ik wel blij zat mee. Oh my gosh. Iets uit er pretty. Weet je? Hallo. Oh my god. Hi Damien. Nou ja, we gaan maar. Ik ga gewoon, weet je, ik ga gewoon weer op de wapen. Dat boeit het ook. Ik heb toch prima over. Ik dacht toch niet dat ik hem meteen krijg doen. That's fine. Oké, ja joh. Even kijken, wat wil ik doen? Oh ja, we gaan die stomme animal ding doen. Dan kunnen we G namelijk upgraden naar level 80. Ja, normaal gesproken ben ik niet live op donderdag. Alleen deze keer. Oh, leuk dat je komt joinen. En dankjewel voor de follow. Kom hier dan.
There is no escape.
Gather. Ha. Ja, ja. Ja.
Shine down.
Thanks.
Ja.
Het kan beter, maar ik ben er blij mee.
No time to lose.
Mocht het geluid overigens niet oké zijn, moet je het maar even zeggen. Dan kan ik even wat aanpassingen doen.
There is no escape.
I.
Shine down.
Oh, dankjewel.
Stabilize.
Was niet nodig, maar sure, dankjewel. Oh, nu krijg ik er wel, doe je? Ja, sure, dankjewel. Ik moet even dingetjes craften. Hold on. Waar ben je? Die. Doe er maar meteen gewoon wat, want ik wil het toch gewoon. Dan heb ik er maar vast wat. Kijk, dat is niet het probleem. Upgrade materials zijn niet het issue. Het is alleen de hoeveelheid zin is de issue. Oh, en we hebben blauwe wisjes. Kunnen we dat ook meteen doen? Ah, of course. En stringless, want het zal eens een keer wat anders zijn. Dat kan wel. Niet dat ik het gebruik, maar dan ben je in ieder geval geupgrade. Zo, Olga. En dan zijn we weer bij. En we hebben Farina, dus dat ben ik helemaal blij mee. We kunnen 1 keer de bos gaan doen, want ik kan tegenwoordig dat ook zonder dat je een story hebt gedaan. Ik weet alleen even niet wat beest dat is, doe. Waar ben je, little lady? Where did you go? There you are. Waar ben je? Ja, maar ik kan daar nou niet komen, jongens. Kan ik gewoon onder water er naartoe? Want volgens mij... Oh, je bent helemaal niet daar. Oh, joh. Daar kan ik gewoon heen. Dat scheelt. Hallo. Oh, it's so pretty. Ik heb alleen wel een Hydro in mijn team. Ik weet niet of dat wel handig is, maar dat vinden we later wel uit. Hoe moet ik daar komen doen? Er zit vast ergens een cave. Maar waar is de grote vraag? Ah, daar. Dat honden. My little octopus. Oh, such a pretty soundtrack. Hello. Gewoon even uit nieuwsgierigheid of ik het kan doen met Child of dat ik echt moet wisselen. Hallo.
Illusion shot.
You so ugly, bro.
Wait, hear me.
Wait, wait. Oh,
Inazuma shines eternal.
stop moving. Stop.
There is no escape.
I will have order.
Illusion shattered.
Nou, zie. Eigenlijk doe je helemaal niks. Dat moet je ook niet missen. Doe het ook niet op.
Barbados.
Kijk dat.
Shine down. Now you shall perish.
Het is redelijk te doen met Raiden. Dat is tof. Hallo.
This is order.
Wabam.
Stabilize.
Ja, jij doet alleen maar wat omdat je elektro krijgt van My Lady.
Inazuma shines
Wabam. Dat is redelijk te doen.
illusion shattered.
Order guide you.
Moet je niet verplaatsen, dat zou wel fijn zijn.
There is no escape.
Nou, dan nog fijn. Wabam. Stop moving. Stop. Wat is er? Oh, nou, ik wist niet eens dat ik die moest verstaan. Dat is fijn. Oh, kijk, ik heb er meteen 2. Is dat genoeg? Dat is helemaal genoeg. Helemaal top. Kan je in ieder geval naar level 50, meid. Oh. Ja, dan moet ik hem 2 keer slaan, maar daar heb ik nu geen zin in. Hij is op zich oké. Deze zijn iets makkelijker dan die van Baals. Van Raiden. Waarom? Omdat mijn Raiden Het is elektro. En dat ding van Raiden was ook elektro. Dus dat werkt niet helemaal.
Alone and unchanging.
Ah, ik ben wel happy toe. Ik kan ook de volgende lukken. Oké. Zijn jullie nu allemaal unlocked? Toppie. Ja, alleen deze niet, maar dan moet ik eerst die stomme quest doen. Daar heb ik eigenlijk geen zin in. Ik ga gewoon lekker verder met de Archon quest. Oh, ik heb Farina. Oh my gosh. Daar ben ik wel blij mee. Die heb ik ook niet zien aankomen. Hello, hello.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh, everything looks so good.
Oh, so delicious.
People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Je croissant.
Of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
It's certainly worth celebrating.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food.
Oh my god, ik zou dit eten dan niet deze opkrijgen. Dat zijn weer 3 mensen.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking. We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
Ja, nou, dus zo gaat het altijd, hè?
In
Suicide.
such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability, it's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough. Which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through. Where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's
I
talk
just
about
wanna find my
something else.
brother.
Like, what are your future plans?
We wanted to ask Hydro Archon for some information, but we haven't had much opportunity to do so.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
Mwah.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
It'll be tough to get any other time.
Would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
Do you think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
Yo.
All right, here's another.
Oh my god, look at that dude in the background though.
Then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers.
He's cooking real
Don't let her
hard.
go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Niet nog een keer.
Valid point. I overlooked that
Ik
part.
word letterlijk
I was just
elke
thinking
nation
about leveraging a
aangehouden.
person's desire for sleep.
How could you overlook something like that?
All right, no more joking around. Huh. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
Ja.
That if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
It's worth a try.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Yeah.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
Fonta.
It's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
My drink also tasted that way too.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Ja, is een zoutig drankje.
We're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia.
Dit kan je jokkie doen.
Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking, you know.
Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
Dus.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with... Huh.
Hey,
Niks.
Navia, what are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Seems that was pretty tough for her.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority.
Why, thank you.
In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
Partner. Goodbye. Let's go find Miss Farina. Fontaine Plaza en van het op... Oh, moeten we die kant op? Oké. Gaan we links, ze gaan naar rechts, ze gaan van links, ze gaan naar rechts. Oh my gosh.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
De Vaché.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Yes, and it's clearer than it was during the day.
Ugh, that's kinda spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vache? Vache.
The fuck is in Vasher?
Why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I can feel strong emotions. Things are getting a little bit blurry.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
And hello? I am in the water? Hey! Where's this?
Vache. Are you my dear Vache?
Denk ik niet.
No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
I'm afraid not. I'm sorry, who are you?
Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered.
Oof.
How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who has lost their form.
You lost your form.
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Light blue water? Could that have been... Could you be one of the girls who were dissolved?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting, I never knew how heavy it could be.
So, you need me to find him?
No, our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor, so let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it will be hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
That means Vache was a witness to the fact that you dissolved?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
It seems that after the body is dissolved, some measure of the consciousness still remains.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Ah, right. I wonder how much time has passed in reality.
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, If you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Okay. I can do that.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navi is outnumbered!
What's going on? What's happening?
Demoiselle, look out!
What's happening?
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand?
Oh, is she a badass?
Quick, now's our chance!
Whoa. She is super badass. Oh my god. Hmm. But why did it happen in the first place, though? These sisters? Hmm.
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Meh.
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Chlorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance
She's such
tonight
a
will
sexy
almost
lady,
certainly
though.
attract their attention.
I'm
It's always
sure
the
they know about
Electro
me.
one.
To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Chlorand. But
Ugh,
if you
dit
get
vond ik-
any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Good day. Goodbye, Mrs. You're very pretty.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Chlorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
Oh, what just happened? Who was that?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and
Hello.
Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too. We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Thanks for the rescue, Navia.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Suspicious.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Cool, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
Wait, do you mean that I thought it tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure.
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Ew.
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine. Otherwise, we would have been...
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Ik hoorde
Well, it
stemmen.
can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
The voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vache was a witness when she dissolved.
Oh, that is important.
You tell everyone about what happened while you were connected to
Vache. That name
consciousness.
doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive, we should try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner.
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Messing with us will cost them. This will prove to be their biggest mistake.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you.
We hadden naar
also have some
Farina.
plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Ja, maar we zouden naar Farina toe gaan. We waren zo dichtbij, doe. Oh. Oké. Eerst even. Oké. Is zo annoying, doe. Waarom nou weer deze extra rommel? Like, we waren letterlijk bijna er. Stond al voor de deur. Dan moeten we weer terug naar de stad. Jezus. Oh. Hebben we ook nog steeds. Ja. Oh no. Oh no.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted it.
Very good.
I shall find rooms for our respect.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's get...
Ook hier hoeft ze niet per se te praten, doe. Nou, oh. Het ziet er gezellig uit. Oh. Oei. Ja. Ah ja. Ik heb de trial afgemaakt. Dus op zich redelijk ver, I guess. De eerste act heb ik eindelijk gedaan. Dat is positief. Oké, ik ga wel zo even lopen met de hondjes. Dus dan ben ik hooguit even een kwartiertje weg. Maar dat maakt niet uit. Helpt. It's so ugly. Het voelt echt alsof we in de slums zijn. Help! Nou, let go! Maar, kijk. Wat we wel hebben. We have the lady. We finally have her. Dus dat is positief. Thanks. Ik had echt verwacht dat ik de 50-50 zou verliezen. Maar hè, we hebben geluk gehad. Dat is goed.
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father... He was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
Archie.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that.
A big mystery?
How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
It does seem quite odd. Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus
Oh, I
murdered
also
anyone.
will never believe.
There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama.
Drama.
It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused...
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Then that indicates that he intended to die in the duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's alright. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. Paimon's beat.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
Okay. Oh, nee,
Will it be
stop!
respectful to-
Let me eat. A peaceful night passes under the Spina de Rosula's protection.
Paimon slept. Huh? Navia?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get...
No, I just returned after going out for a while.
Wait. So you didn't...
How could I after have...
Guess Paimon wasn't...
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that the...
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to. And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all... If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some
Oceanid.
related information there.
Sommige uitspraken, jong.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive.
Nervelet? Why? Is dat gewoon Neuvillette? In plaats van Nervelet.
Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia?
No, it's...
Suspicious? C'est very suspicious. Oké. Waar moet ik heen?
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Oké, ik vind het even een mooi punt. Ik ga even snel lopen met de hondjes. Dus ik ben zo over 10 minuutjes, kwartier weer terug. Be right back. En we zijn er weer. Sneller dan ik dacht, maar helemaal top. Ja, mijn moeder heeft gewoon last van de lucht, dus ik moest even met hondjes lopen. Helemaal prima. Ik vind het heel vervelend dat jij aanstaat. Kan ik jou... Dankjewel. Joehoe. It's also very pretty.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters. Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Nervalet's files are really secure.
Nervalet.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep, Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
Don't have a reason to be here.
What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh, is that even a thing?
Zeker, zeker.
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
Gewoon een beetje bluffen en het komt helemaal goed. Ah, ze is zo cute. Ze kon niet eens erbovenuit naar Gigi.
Please come in.
Oh, very big office. There's no what I expected.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
He's just a lonely man.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
So we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ze praat terwijl er niks meer wordt gezegd.
Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No.
You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death,
Oh,
then
she's
why did you
crying.
call a stop to the duel?
Oh
Why
no.
didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone.
Stop met
It's not so much
praten.
that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Ik denk dat je me een beetje... dat hij een beetje misunderstood is toen. Ik denk niet dat dat echt is wat hij bedoelt. Ik denk dat hij oprecht niet wat hij ermee aan moet.
I'm fine.
Kijk, of niet beginnen te regenen. Oftewel,
Rain. It's raining.
he said.
Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Rain.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case. Was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We should go while the idea is still fresh.
Great, let's go then.
Het is goed dat ze je die optie geven. Daardoor hoef ik niet helemaal daar naartoe te gaan. Ofwel, als ik eventueel explore, dat is wel een goeie. Voor Nuviletto. He crying. He sad.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Waarom elke keer in die vieze gebieden door? Look at that big fish. He's a huge fishy. Look at the fishy.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Eat
As we
drugs.
oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with Jacques? But it's also possible that the third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with zero warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has, even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Whoa.
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as
Details.
long as you remain safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
Until
No.
today.
I don't believe it. He never appeared.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful were still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake, I'm sure he'd be extreme.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight?
Stop.
No.
Oh.
He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him.
No, stop crying.
The amount of confidence he
Jesus.
had in me. And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose, but thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Huh. Malus, what was the key evidence that he...
It's the location where synth is produced. He said when he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take...
Why? If we know where the place...
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization. There's no telling what might be lying in wait.
Ik heb het gevoel dat het de Fatui
We
is.
also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find, but a single visit to their headquarters
Maar dat kan
would be
verkeerd
tantamount
zitten.
to a formal declaration. The worst case would be that we leave empty.
Then, in that case...
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case.
Huh. That's true. But things are different now. It should be...
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this.
I am the butler, after all. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability,
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina de Ros. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed. The first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusts thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What's this confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. The Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards.
Hij is
Although
de
the
meest
guards mostly leave
suspicious.
us to our own devices, since Thierry is all...
I see. To think that the enemy we've been fighting...
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our...
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided...
You're too kind, my And before I forget, proving Boss... After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a...
Oh, thank you so much.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to
Yes, let's go. Another case. Woo! The Callis case records. 3 years ago, on a rainy night, banquet goers heard 2 gunshots outside the house. When they reached the scene, Callis had a gun in his hands, and Jacques had been shot and slain. Based on the investigations done then, there was no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callis was thus adjudged to have been the culprit. Let's go! We doing a big mystery. Is hij Shelly? Is de echte jellyfish?
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy...
Thank you for arranging everything.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Eh.
Oh,
Let's not bother her for now.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of...
You don't understand at all.
I didn't
Jawel.
know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
Wat een chagrijnig kind.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Oh, wait. Does that mean someone ordered Jacques to take out Callus?
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good, regardless of whether he left you a parasol.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me.
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is...
You really think that's the...
Testimony from Jacques' family. Jacques' family believed that he had struggled greatly with the order to kill Callus. Did Callus act in self-defense? Or was there more to the incident? Mystery, mystery.
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent
Oh,
should
ik
be
zit er ook echt lekker bij.
should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way. So please don't worry.
Nou, gelukkig zijn we er al. Hallo.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into...
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
It's very possible.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel.
Oratrice mechaniek Tenerife kardinaal.
After seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I'll tell you everything.
I understand. And if I may just say one more thing. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through no matter what others might say.
Don't worry. You and all our other comrades at this...
Ik vertrouw hem best wel erg. Information regarding Florent. Florent, the advisor to the Spina Tirosula, claimed that he was very grateful to Callus for his kindness. He was also present at the banquet on the day of the case and can provide evidence that Callus did not carry a gun with him when he went out. Ik denk inderdaad dat de eerste gunshot gericht was op Callus. Of Callus schoot op de derde persoon. En de tweede gunshot was dan op Jacques. Ik denk dat Jacques en Callus allebei dood moesten. A big murder mystery? Who done it? Who done it? Who done it? Oh, hello.
Hey,
Ik vertrouw hem het minst.
It's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson.
Suspicious.
Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners.
Hello.
What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly
Extra
go to
suspicious.
Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? we definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Makes sense.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
You. Jesus.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Misschien vertrouw ik hem toch meer dan dat ik dacht. Information regarding Thierry. Thierry is the person responsible for official contact between the Spina Dorsula and the guards. According to him, only the sufficiently rich can privately own large numbers of Gardamex. Thank you for the follow. Waarom is ik weer weg? Hallo. Waarom kunnen ze nou nooit een keer dicht bij een teleportpoint zitten? Nu liggen alle suspicious op deze dude.
Hello, how may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You could share. I will let him know right away.
Ik vertrouw misschien deze dude nog het minst. Ja, het gaat goed. Gaat het met jou ook goed?
Hello.
Ik ben lekker aan het spelen.
Waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I
Mooi.
just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the opera house. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Ja, ja.
Oh, you were at the opera house too?
Vertrouwen je
That's
voor
right.
aanwezig.
I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, I
Ja, dat vond ze vast niet leuk.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes.
Hoe kon je dat niet noteren?
Right away. Is that what you're
Fontaine.
now?
Nee, ik heb... dit is nu de tweede act. Dus ik weet nog niks van de derde. Het is de nieuwste act, weet ik nog helemaal niks. Dus geen spoilers.
What makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas.
Ik vind het natuurlijk wel beter dan Sumeru.
The peace that Callus sought so dearly will
Ik heb echt een hekel aan Sumeru, I'm sorry.
But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always
Poisson.
remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabriere will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
Geen karakter. Mijn max is tot nu toe 60k.
Sorry, my age is catching up with me.
En dat is met mijn Raiden.
Take me a while to recall my memory.
Want ja, child crit nooit.
The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot.
Damn. I could never.
It's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora.
Hij is het meest suspicious omdat hij rijk is. I know, Raiden is echt broken. Maar ik heb geen zin om artifacts te vormen. Dat ligt bij mij het grootste. Ik kan het even snel maar Raiden laten zien doen. Information regarding Marcel. Marcel is the leader of the Confrérie of Cabriere and was the organizer of the banquet years prior. The Confrérie and the Spinetta Risula have always maintained a close working relationship. Though his recollection of the events of the case is quite foggy, he is willing to defend Navia. Ja, kijk, nou, ik speel het heel casual. Ik hoef niet per se big damage. Ik doe genoeg damage voor wat ik doe. Maar ik heb er wel level 90. Ik heb er wel triple crowns. En ik heb wel de wapen. Dus ze doet op zich wel oké. We gaan alleen niet kijken naar de artifacts. Dus ja, we doen gewoon lekker ons dingetje. Ik hou van de challenge. Ik bedoel, tot nu toe heb ik wel elk gevecht in 1 keer gewonnen, dus dat is best goed.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
None of them really stood out as a suspect.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able
Waarom
to
is
find.
iedereen nu touwmeen die hier in mijn chat komt?
Where should we start?
Ik zweer, die touwmeens zijn gewoon eng. Dat is zo intimiderend. Jack's motive?
Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father.
Oh, damn.
He and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
If I was Jacques, I wouldn't have fired a shot at all.
Oh? And why is that?
Could he guarantee his family's safety after killing Callus?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Ah, Clarion, ik vind haar zo cool, wat ik tot nu toe van haar heb gezien.
Sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
Ik heb wel eindelijk vandaag Farina gepot, daar ben ik wel blij mee. Seems the third person was the one who derailed everything.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
A game theory.
Besides Jacques,
Thanks
the
for
attack
watching.
from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Het valt wel mee.
He knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given
Ik
everything
heb gewoon
that's
een beetje een
happened
hoge stem, oké?
since, it's quite possible.
Ik kan ook heel stoer praten
Who
hoor.
among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Marcel sowieso, hij zit...
Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked
That's
together
why
on
it's
a
Lady
large number
Mice.
of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me
Little
to
mouse.
imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Maybe it was someone else. Ik hè? Ik word volgende week 19. Calm down. Thierry?
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use.
It's legal, don't worry.
I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of
I'm no
territory
child.
under wraps.
Yeah, had he actually been tampered with the mecha, we'd
Don't
be able
worry,
to
it's
prove
not
it with a
illegal.
simple check of the guard's inventory. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Maybe it was someone else? Florent.
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Oh well, yes.
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Who could it be?
Ik zeg het je, ik vertrouw die Marcel echt het minst van al die allemaal. Ja, het spijt me. Heb ik Discord? Zeker. Mijn Discord staat in mijn Twitch
Uncle Marcel
dingetjes.
is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the 3, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is
I mean, I'm a
knowledgeable
gamer,
about
of course I
Spina's
have Discord.
internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
He is someone who's very close to you, after all.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
The synth production base!
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now.
We go fighting jump. Let's go.
We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
RJ.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's...
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui Harbinger called Tartaglia.
Not my boy! Hold on!
What? Is that someone you know?
What did he do?
We know him. Maybe even a little too well.
What's going...
He's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right.
Mijn server is echt een beetje dood, I know.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence.
Let's split up.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
Ik wil best komen kijken. Oh, I'm confident in my combat abilities. Ik wilde naar Child,
Just
dude.
as expected of my partner.
He's my boy.
About the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Leave it to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver, when did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson. It's our hope that your confidence...
Thank you so much.
See you then!
Suspect analysis. Combining the information regarding the Gardamex and the investigation results so far, it can be concluded that there is only one person who can have a large number of Gardamex in his possession and run the synth business without leaving traces. This person is none other than Marcel. Is goed. Maar ik wilde naast de trial toe. Hallo vriend. Ik neem aan dat jij er bent. Of niet? Dat kan ook. Oh, is het dan? I don't know. Ik laat hem gewoon openstaan. Dat is fijn.
The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
Echt niemand speelt volgens mij met Jule. Oh my gosh.
Let's go and try to find the entrance.
Hello. Oh, there it is.
Finally found it! So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary at all.
Well, they didn't want it to stand out.
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
Is goed. Yeah, yes, my boy.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again.
Oh,
Miss
ik heb hem wel.
Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearance?
He isn't. Leave my boy
To be
alone.
perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right?
Oh,
Case,
die heb
as
ik niet
long as I
aanstaan.
accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
No.
When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Of course it is.
Oh?
Duh.
Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too?
What
I'm
the
kind of student who
fuck?
learns best in the heat of battle.
Jesus Christ.
No. That's not what I meant.
Oh my god.
Alas, it would
Maar
appear that
dude.
communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case,
Ik heb
let me
ding
explain everything from the
200
very
euro
beginning.
uitgegeven. En ik
The
speel
goal of this
al
trial is to
sinds
determine
Inazuma.
the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Damn.
Why is she interjecting again?
I told you
Leave
it
my
couldn't be
boy
one of those
alone.
dewy harbingers.
Miss Navia,
Feeling
this is
me.
the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only
Oh,
tolerated your behavior
damn.
last
Oh, jij bent er ook al zo een. Ik had er gisteren ook al zo een. Die had echt zoveel gewoon constellations. Dat ik dacht van... Ik verloor de 50-50 over de child constellation. I'm going cry.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules.
Ik heb je vision nog, maar dude.
So I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted.
My friend.
Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
Marcel.
That person is...
Marcel.
Marcel,
Fuck that
the
bitch.
head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends and enemies type situation?
Please let me remind
Child
you,
moet
Miss
gewoon
Navia,
C6 zijn, dan is hij het best.
is an incredibly serious matter.
Ik heb niet heel veel geluk daarin.
The charge also means taking on the legal responsibility.
Raiden daarentegen, Raiden is al broken zonder constellations.
Fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also
En ik
be
heb al een
charged with the crime of
C2
making a false
Zhongli.
accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this
Ik ga het er niet over hebben.
Yes, I do.
Die ging niet
In
met
that
opzet.
case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the floor.
Het ging niet
Members
met
of the
opzet.
guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
You
Mr.
sit there.
Marcel, you will not
I know
require
you
an
done it.
attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is
Oi.
probably just a misunderstanding between me and
Child's
Navia.
altijd beter doen.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years
En ik
ago.
gebruik Zhongli niet om te critten. Ik gebruik Zhongli echt alleen voor shield. Ik heb zelfs zijn wapen.
What really happened in that case.
En zijn wapen is echt de slechtste wapen alle tijden.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father?
Yes.
Come on. Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
Child is gewoon de beste daddy van allemaal.
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm
Kijk.
struggling to remember some
Risley though.
details of that case.
Sure, sure.
I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
Gardiennage. Okay, let's go.
On
Let's
the day of
go.
the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières.
I'm a lawyer now.
During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary
Oh,
suspect
dus hebben zelfs bloed erbij gedaan. Wajo.
while his acquaintance Jacques lay dead from a gunshot wound.
Ik had niet verwacht dat dit er zo lelijk uit zou zien, though.
The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries.
Okay.
These are the known facts about the case.
Let's go. Let's go.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot
Is ook belangrijk. Heel belangrijk.
father seized the gun from him. After that,
Is goed.
turned the third
Rustig
person
aan.
into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Yes. There was... Yes, water. Water. There.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Tot zo. Yinogon. Oh, okay. Sorry.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered.
Oh my god, dit doet me zo denken aan Vacillaten. Het is niet normaal. Zelfs met de muziek erbij.
Fortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility and had sent out another assassin.
De primordiale water.
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice.
Ha!
Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
He's so young though.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
Well, yes.
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
No.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Dude.
Evidence, you should just go home.
Nah.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Huh. Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described,
She's wearing a light outfit.
why didn't Mr. Callis explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So,
You say, girl.
your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callis was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live, or I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callis never
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
That's what I
I
said.
concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callis. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of
Hi.
because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
The banquet. The banquet.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor
Oh
the
my
place?
god. Ik kan de timeouts niet weghalen. Ik ga straks wel na mijn stream even stream elements bijwerken.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the
Ik weet niet eens waarvoor.
Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter?
300 seconden.
But if I were to dismiss this
Dit
completely,
niet super lang.
you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman
sorry.
by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade.
Ik denk dat het ermee te maken heeft dat je misschien berichten te snel achter elkaar stuurde. Dus daar zal ik even naar kijken naar de stream.
Began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time.
Hij werkt met de Fatui, 100%.
Unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
No, she didn't.
Nagia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations?
Nee.
He wishes for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings and to stop rushing headlong into things.
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Oké. Nogmaals, sorry voor de random timeout. Hallo. What is? I'm gonna be fine.
Bring it on.
What is? No.
The floor is going up. Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Hey. Oh, it's very pretty though. Damn.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Look around.
Water moet omhoog.
Hit a mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Obviously. Whoop. Hello.
we can swim to the top.
Zeg het je, de ene keer is het... I'm so sorry. En de ene keer was het met Twitch mod die het ook bij iemand deed. En de andere keer was het... de stomme stream elements. But you're good now. Het was stream elements. Het is een automod denk ik, maar ik weet niet wat het... waarom... Want het is niet alsof je wat raars zei of zo. Dus ik denk dat het vanwege spam was. Maar ik heb dat nooit eerder met stream elements gehad. Dus ik zal er even naar kijken naar de stream. Gewoon niet te snel berichten achter elkaar sturen, I guess.
Illusion shattered. Barbados, guide us.
Oh. Hold on. Nou ja, ik snap niet why. Het elke keer bij mijn auto dingen. Oh my god. Nou gebruik ik Stream Elements sowieso niet, dus die ga ik gewoon sowieso eruit halen. Oh my god, Paimon, wat is dat voor geluid? Sorry, laatst was er iemand die werd echt constant voor echt onnodige woorden. Wat dan in het Nederlands normaal was, maar in het Engels niet. Zoals ho of hoe. Dat was heel vreemd, dus dat heb ik allemaal aangepast. En dus ik dacht, nou, nu ben ik van de problemen af. Maar nee, nu doet Stream Elements weer raar. Dus ik ga gewoon die eruit halen. Yoo-hoo! How you doing, friend? I hope you're doing okay. The no critter, haha.
Inazuma shines eternal. There is no escape.
My lady, thank you. Oh, we gaan deep, deep, deep down. In the deep down, dark, deep down, deep.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum.
The fuck is that?
Expected, the mastermind isn't here.
If I am not mistaken, he's being charged by Navia as we speak.
That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the Opera House and help Navia.
Yes, yes. We do that, we do that. What the fuck is it? Oh my god. It's just the universe in a bottle.
Synth here. And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea.
There are so many.
Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth?
Maakt het alleen maar makkelijker voor ons, no? Well, that definitely proves that this is where they produce synth.
Yep, it's super obvious.
Synth, a popular potion circulating quite widely. It gives the drinker a very pleasant experience for a short time, but its side effects are equally strong. The producer uses these special characteristics to earn a massive profit from its trade. Oftewel, gewoon drugs.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Calm down. No stress.
Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before.
Dat vind je al scary?
Someone writes something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone. You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
Aansteller. Jesus. The goal of the researcher is to save his lover, a woman called Vignier, who was dissolved.
So that's why he did all of these experiments.
Ik weet zeker dat de persoon die dit wil doen, dat eigenlijk Vaché is. Ja, dat zal ik even zeggen. There's another name here. Vaché.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
Dat is hij ook. No, he's the researcher.
You mean Vaché is the one who did all of these... experiments?
Yes, he signed off on a bunch of the experiment reports. The voice I heard from the fountain was probably Vignier.
So that's it. Vaché was no victim, but personally took his lover and...
Nee.
No, that's not it either.
Dumbass.
Why would he want people to resurface from the water?
Het is zo easy. Vignier is de eerste die was verdwenen. Voor zijn ogen, dus nu probeert hij die terug te halen, maar ze is een ocean. There must be more to this than meets the eye.
In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Such an idiot. Vaché Experimental Records. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusion on the primordial sea, and uses his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved. There are many more records like this. Is goed. Oh, ik kan het alleen niet nu doen, dus na het domein. It's so weird. Can I touch? No, I cannot touch. Damn it.
Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes.
Nou, blijkbaar de meest obvious conclusion.
Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him.
It's probably related to his and Jacques' case.
Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Is there anything else?
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
They planned this well in advance.
They're all just so evil.
Dit vind je evil. Ik vind het minder evil dan sommige andere dingen die we hebben gezien in andere continenten. I mean, Mondstadt was de meest peaceful, was gewoon een draak. Ja, no-in. Liewe. Ja, stel eigenlijk ook niet heel erg veel voor. Was gewoon een dreigementje. Wat was Liewe? Ja. Saaie dreigement. Inazuma. De god was letterlijk iedereen zijn visions, zijn hopes en dreams aan het wegnemen. Fucking Sumeru. Mensen hun dromen afpakken en vervolgens je eigen god opsluiten. Dit valt echt wel mee. Callus' investigation report. Clues concerning the Callus case that were found inside the bookshelf. The mastermind did not believe that Jacques would do the deed and thus sent a third party to ensure Callus' death. The content that followed also defined the culprit's motive to some extent. There.
What's all this? Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things. Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box.
There's a name too.
Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names?
Het is fucking a serial killer. Hij houdt zelfs trophies achter. They probably belong to the victims.
Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water. And all the boxes of things. These names. That's... Oh, this is terrible.
Damn. Dat is echt wel dark. The missing person's possessions. You discovered objects within the container, labeled with the names of those who owned them, within the depths of the HQ. The names here must have something to do with the victims in a serial disappearances case. This might be the proof that this was their final stop. Zou je die dingen gewoon hebben bewaard om vervolgens aan zijn vriendin te kunnen geven op het moment dat ze weer terug zou komen uit de Primordial Sea? Nou, dat zou echt heel raar zijn. Wat is er nog meer? Ik zie niks anders. Boven de big thingy. Maar daar kan ik niks mee doen. Oh. Ha, wist ik wel.
Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here.
No shit.
And it's full of water.
That must be water from the Primordial Sea.
That means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient.
Wat dan?
If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human.
Alleen
Paimon will take notes on this
Fontaine human
incriminating
soul.
evidence.
Primordial Seawater Pool. The pool found within the HQ is filled with water from the Primordial Sea. The mastermind can use this to create synth and directly use it to dissolve people.
We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on.
Who really is this Vacher? Ik denk dat die Marcel gewoon stiekem Vacher is en dat het lijkt alsof hij pas later in Fontaine aankomt omdat hij zijn naam heeft veranderd.
Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything.
Neuvillette? Doe gewoon normaal.
Destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit.
Clever, but maybe not clever enough. Let's look again.
Sure thing. Paimon won't admit.
Clues.
You take that side, and Paimon will take this side.
Die awkward draai.
Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
Praten. Jeez. Paimon, I found it.
Oh, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vacher's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see.
Spill the tea.
Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now.
Take a look at this page. She made a list of baby names. Ah, yes. Very nice.
So many! A whole page's worth! But they're all crossed out. The final name she decided Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vacher and Vinier's grown son?
Nah, he is Vacher. Alleen hij heeft de naam gepakt van eigenlijk hun ongeboren kind. Nou. Ja.
Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
You're just stupid. Vigniere's notebook. A notebook belonging to a lady named Vigniere. She records many stories of her time with her lover Vacher. On one of these pages, she prepared many names for their future child, and the name she settled on in the end was Marcel. After obtaining the final piece of key evidence, you race back to the Opera Epiclese.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Hello!
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Gaan ze blij mee zijn.
How often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
Ik doe niks.
It's all right, Monsieur.
Het is alleen een opdracht.
Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
You say you've never heard of Vacher.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything. After your lover, Vigniere, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
Motive.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
Idiot.
Also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
Wel ja, anders had je het niet gedaan.
Pay attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were
Hoe oud
laughing.
ben jij?
They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vigniere's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all.
Die Marcel, hoe oud is hij? Want niet als het decades is. 80?
Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice.
He ancient.
Love it drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vigniere is
Hij is
dead.
best fit voor iemand van 50 toch?
Always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow.
Ze zit in een fontein, mijn dude.
Blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
It's synth.
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back?
Gewoon normaal doen.
And in the end, that accursed callous still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end,
Dat heet karma.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me.
I mean, je hoeft niet helemaal mental te worden, maar dude.
I still need to save Vignere. Her promise. We made a promise. Vignere. Please, Vignere. Don't think badly of me. All we want to do is fulfill our promise.
Je bent gewoon een beetje cringe, maar dude.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any
Dankjewel.
basis.
My boy heeft niks verkeerd
I
gedaan.
was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Leave him
Please
alone.
submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
Maar dude was gewoon...
The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vache and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignere. During an underwater expedition, Vignere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vache as a result. Vache learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to
Research. Waarom moet het zo raar zeggen?
To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson.
Research. Poisson. Croissant. Poisson.
During the course of his research, Vache discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria.
Waarschijnlijk komt hij zelf gewoon niet uit Fontaine. En daarom kan hij niet dissolven.
As he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula.
I know, maar dan hoeft ze nog steeds niet dingen zo raar uit te spreken. Ze zeggen ook nerfilet met een R. Neuvillet. Neuvillet.
He was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin.
Research.
And just recently,
Het is gewoon grappig hoe ze dit af te zeggen.
as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method.
Ja, arme Lenny. Die heeft helemaal niks gedaan, die arme jongen.
And the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough
I know, maar het is wel gewoon...
that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
Ik bedoel, in Sumeru, in Izuma, al die andere gebieden gingen ze ook niet dingen. Gingen ze ook niet dingen op een andere manier uitspreken, omdat het een ander land moet zijn. Dus waarom nu in één keer wel in? Maar goed, hè? Het zal wel. Het geeft mij een lach, dus ik vind het helemaal prima.
According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Mr. Vache is guilty.
Ja, maar het viel misschien minder op.
Take Vache away.
According to the judgment of oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale. Oh, ik heb eigenlijk nooit echt per se gepraat met NPC's. Misschien dat het daardoor komt. En van in de Zuma is best lang geleden al voor mij. Yippie!
He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Are you okay?
Navia. Oh, maar het is me nooit opgevallen. Is het echt zo Japans dan? Maar op zich, in Mondstad gingen ze ook niet in één keer Duits praten, dus op zich.
You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finally
Ze doen hun best en ik apprecieer het nonetheless.
It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Ga je nou weer janken?
Hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending.
Ja, en ik heb je vision nog, my dude.
I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Je vision!
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal?
Side characters like me.
Side characters like me to
You're not a side character, my dude. You're the main
Please respect
character.
the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right. But this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Neem alsjeblieft je vision terug. Ik vertrouw het niet dat je hem niet hebt.
Presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges.
Yes.
We now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Ik kan er niet van naar luisteren zonder de meme te horen. Het spijt me. Ja, dat is wel. Dat is waar.
Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny. Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent?
Excuse me?
What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the
Hold on. Not my boy, though.
Heard of an innocent Fatui Harper?
Hij is innocent. Hij heeft niks verkeerd gedaan.
Him on general principle?
Leave him
Weren't
alone.
the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Child has been declared guilty by the oratrice. Just what is going on here? Yeah, what is going on?
Mécanique d'analyse cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
Leave him alone.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke.
Do it. Kill them all.
You've got your rules.
Yeah. My boy. Oi, for legacy, let's go. Maar je vision, though. Ja, ik heb een vriend.
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth.
No, leave him alone. Go away, bitch. I'll kill you. I'm watching you. Stay away from my boy. Die muziek. Ruik je het gewoon?
Apologies.
Really?
This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the oratrice's judgment is
Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale.
all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
If even the Chief Justice doesn't know, then we have no choice but to ask the Archon herself.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it. I don't know what
Ik ben ook insane. Dat maakt niet uit.
staring at me.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results
Oh my god. Besties. Again, Waarvoor? Is het voor de emojis?
Dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort
Hold
of
on, ik ga echt even snel kijken bij stream. Even kijken waarom. Ik denk dat ik het nu heb gefixt. Waar ben je? Oké, ik heb het gefixt. Als het goed is, kan je nu weer praten. En ik heb het ook gefixt, want het kwam blijkbaar door emotes. Waarom? I don't know. Maar het is gefixt. Als het goed is, kan je weer praten.
Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
Yes, multiple personalities.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement. And, of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment!
Yeah.
If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable. All shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the oratrice's verdict.
Sure.
Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave.
Toodaloo.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
Way to pull the rug out under from her.
However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case.
Dat was niet goed gezegd, maar I don't care.
Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all,
my boy.
He's done plenty of bad stuff, so he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
What did he do? What did he do wrong? Hoe maakt het nou uit dat die grote god op BLD heeft afgestuurd? Dat heeft iedereen wel eens gedaan, toch? No? Friend. Yes. Ah, oké. Dat ziet er wel beter uit. Eerst even kijken doen. Nee, je hebt wel een hoger adventure rank. Dat is wel beter. En je hebt hoger spiral bits. Dat gebeurt snel, want ik heb maar 1 team. Of course, homo. Consultation, nice. Of course, triple crown. Ik had het gewoon niet anders moeten verwachten, though. Het is best nice. Ah, die is niet al te best. Maar goed. Die is wel oké. Nou weet ik nog steeds niet hoe je het aan moet bouwen. Dus ik kan niet te veel judgen over Juju. Maar hè? Oh, de crit rate. Oh, ik ken het probleem. Dit is een hele nice. Kazoo. Nice. Of course. Of course. Ah, ik heb die ook. Ik wilde hem niet, maar ik kreeg hem wel. Thank you. En daar ben ik. Nice. Primo's erbij. Niet genoeg, of course. Niet dat het uitmaakt, want ik heb er nu al. You need to save our boy, though.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
That is me.
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
What do you want?
Marcel, what are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Yes. I met her.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it?
It was around the Fountain of Lucine. Something to do with my sensitivity to the Hydra element.
The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
For real.
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs? Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Let me out. It's very bright. Okay. Doggo.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Back then, I drank water from the primordial sea. It heightened my sensitivity to the hydro element.
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. age as well? Oh, in that case...
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it too!
Vignier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache!
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vignier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Wat hebben we nu? Oh.
You? It's me, Vache! Vignier!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day
Dan
you
klopt het
left.
wel dat hij bijna 50 is,
All
toch?
this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vignier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
Nou, gewoon doen.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of
Wel,
your
oef.
selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You.
Oef.
Wait, you are not Vignier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony.
Lemony.
The only one I am not is Vignier.
Why? But then, where is Vignier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became?
Idiot.
You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist.
Yes. Tell him.
The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
And that's on you. Hey Google. Lily's camera aan.
No! Vignier! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please, have mercy.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignier. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Vache.
Karma is a bitch. Later, the guards find that the culprit of the serial disappearances of young woman case Marcel. Oh. Well.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
My legs are killing me.
Ah, well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with, and
Sounds like you're really in.
it's just been one thing after the other. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held this time, though. Everyone.
So his name's definitely been cleared.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago.
Things turned out as well as they could have.
Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina... I believe the story was called The True... To be fair, though, it was a really she was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an...
Oh yeah, she told us about that.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence...
Now that...
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two on better...
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, it was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her.
Okay.
Great.
Anyway, now that the case is finally... Oh, actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. And on top of that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Can I come too?
We want to go too.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the...
And in that case, everyone, let's be off.
Yeah, you're right.
Ik denk dat ik hem al een keer heb gevonden tijdens het Explorer. Alleen ik wist niet van wie het graf was.
This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Is een novelette.
Why would the Chief Justice be here?
That's why it's raining.
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize.
In that case, I will stop
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case...
Well, ever since that day, there was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, But Mr. Callus proved, if not for his sacrifice, Mr. Callus made the choice he did for his daughter, and in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher than. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. I should have. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your heart.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh?
Sorry about that.
Didn't I just say?
So Navia, let's not disturb them for now.
Now he's a happy dragon.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before.
Well, you're not usually supposed to fly around someone's grave.
Paimon didn't know that was a thing. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad.
Wow, she took it seriously.
Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we
just followed her here.
I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Answer my question.
Well, it's pretty hard to run into.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
About water from the primordial sea?
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial sea, but what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vache and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Nervalette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Oh, well, yes.
That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon? Wow. This is the first time that we've ever heard of it.
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, She has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information.
Het is gewoon AI. Het leert van zichzelf.
I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though, with her time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me
Het is wel de waarheid, though. My sibling.
Your sibling? Another blonde-haired traveler? I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epicles. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Nope, that was it.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right, you've got a point.
Yep.
Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Yeah, happy dragon.
You know, we've been walking around for a while now. Why don't we go back to the Spina di Rosula base in the court of Fontaine and have a rest? Navia said something about having a place ready for us there, didn't she? Come on, let's go!
Extra quest? Wat nou weer? Huh? Of course. Give me those primos though. Thank you. Double the primos. Yay, we got a wish. And we really want this sword hebben. Ik weet dat ik hem niet ga krijgen, maar we kunnen altijd hopen, hoor. Voor de volgende banner ga ik sowieso sparen. Want ja, ik hoef die andere niet te hebben, want ik heb... weet het al. En wie kwam er nou nog meer? Oh ja, Sino, ja, die heb ik ook al, dus die hoef ik niet nog een keer. Oké. Ik ga gewoon afsluiten met 1 keer dit ding weer te verslaan. Kijken of we Farina misschien 1 keer kunnen upgraden. En dan ga ik afsluiten. Hallo.
Illusion
Solidify.
I swear by my sword. Torn to oblivion.
30?
We'll have order.
Je doet zo weinig, maar doe.
Shine down. Now you shall perish.
Wabam. Ik weet dat ik eigenlijk die kleine dudes waarschijnlijk moet verslaan, maar het kan me eigenlijk echt weinig schelen. Woejoe.
Inazuma shines eternal.
He doing no crit. That's fine.
Illusion shattered. I swear by my sword. There is no escape.
Ow.
Now you shall perish.
Oh, misschien moet ik een paar keer mijn shield weer gebruiken. Dat is op zich best handig.
Wind, hear me. Shine down.
Come here, you bitch. Thank you. Bye bye. 2, hoeveel heb ik er nodig? 2? Welke ik er 3 nodig? 4. Oh, damn. Ah, that's fine. Ik vind het wel goed zo. We teleporteren wel even hier naartoe. Zodat we in ieder geval op veilige grond staan. Nou ja, dat wordt het voor vandaag. Ik ben gewoon volgende week woensdag weer terug. Want ja, weekend is druk gewoon voor mij. En verder heb ik geen andere tijd om te streamen. Nou ja, ik hoop jullie aankomende woensdag weer te zien. Dan gaan we gewoon weer verder met Archon Quest. Ik weet niet hoe up-to-date we nu zijn vergeleken met de updates. Dus dat zien we dan wel weer. We gaan gewoon lekker verder met Archon Quest. En misschien een beetje event dingen als ik het niet al in het weekend heb gedaan. Want ja, ik wil eigenlijk wel Farina's zwaard hebben. Maar dat, als ik hem niet krijg is het ook prima. Ik ga daarna toch sparen. Nou ja. Aankomende woensdag dus. De tijd is gewoon als ik klaar ben met eten. Dus er zit niet per se een tijd aan. Gewoon je melding aanzetten en dan zie je het wel. Ik stuur ook een bericht. Ik zet ook een bericht op Instagram. En er komt een bericht op Discord. Dus als je niet je melding hebt aanstaan voor Twitch is het niet erg. Nogmaals, ik hoop jullie dan te zien. En verder nog een fijne avond. Bye bye.